going to be limited. You're not going to see like a Muay Thai plum where they'll hold both hands behind the head. It's going to be a little bit more at range than kind of fighting up and in.
In full gloves.
Correct. Full gloves, no shin guards.
Yeah, and ooh, good
Big
shot by Nahom. But knees are allowed, kicking allowed?
Correct.
Good
Knees are
right.
allowed. I believe elbows are, but that depends actually on a case-by-case basis. I believe both fighters have to agree to that at this level.
Little different, can't go to the ground. These guys totally stand up. Brad Davis in the blue gloves. Nahom with the red tape.
Nahom's doing a great job of countering him with these hard shots and then following up those hard shots with a counter.
Man, Nahom is tough. He's thrown 2 hard, 3, 4 hard ones that just really stung Davis early.
Big uppercut landed too.
Oof.
Those leg kicks are going to chop you down, and that'll make it very difficult to sit on. Big shot landed, dropped him.
And this is something you're not used to, because Nahom, I mean, everybody in here, including me, were like, jump on him. He's on the ground.
Well, Nahom sees blood, so he's going to put a lot of pressure on him. Now, what I was about to say was that those lower body shots, those leg kicks, those body kicks, that's going to get your hands to drop, and it's going to make it difficult to sit on your punches. That side effect is going to be it's going to open up upstairs, which is what you just saw.
Boy, Nahom comes out swinging hard, doesn't he?
He's got great range and great power. His volume is what's impressive, too. He's always changing the levels. You can't really get a read on him. And Brad is just not really able to kind of establish his punches and make Nahom think that there's danger. He's kind of just walking through everything he does.
These are 3 2-minute rounds, and a little bit different 2-minute rounds. You can survive a little bit longer, but man, the amount of pressure Nahom has put on Davis has been unbelievable.
Right, well, limiting the grappling is going to allow you to kind of stay a little bit more loose. You don't have to get tight. You don't have to flex any shots. But you look at Nahom and the way he's moving. He's kind of just plotting. He's controlling the pace. He's staying in the center. He's making Brad Davis constantly back up. And without the ability to change levels and shoot a takedown, which is kind of what it looked like he wanted to do right there, it really limits the options you have if you're the fighter that's backing up.
The amount of level changes that Nahom has done, I mean, he looks like he's getting ready to throw a jab at your face, and he hits you dead square in the middle of your belly.
Yeah.
And then he comes back with a kick right to that same belly, and then the way his eyes are down and his head's down, he really has that confusing look like you were just talking about of changing levels.
He does, and he gets out of the way of a lot of punches very discreetly.
Really, a low kick right there. Davis got low kicked, and he was looking for Victor to give him a little bit of time.
Well, unfortunately, he didn't get it, but, you know, again, with that clinch, you're really not – that's supposed to be broken up quickly, and that's what Nahom's corner was kind of complaining about there. Like right here, you got to – immediately they break, you know, because they're not working that Muay Thai style.
Right. That's the end of round number 1. This fight brought to you by Tobaccoology. And it's pretty noticeable. It's going to open up. He starts taking some more shots.
Yeah, and that'll affect the breathing, too. Big head kick landed there. You know, right there, right to the clinch, got to break it immediately. Now, Nahom, one thing he was doing at the end of the last round, you see he's kind of just keeping his hands up, and he's looking, and it's not because he doesn't respect Brad, but he just doesn't feel like he's in danger.
Right.
In the beginning, he was much more worried about fighting at range, whereas now he's much more concerned with pressuring Brad and landing the shots he wants.
Yeah, he's seen him enough that he knows that he's not going to get stung. Worried about it. If you watched the tape from the last fight that you called, it looked a little bit different. He looked a little more in control for Davis, and then Nahom was a little worried about that. But now I think Nahom is in total control of this thing.
Well, you know, one of the things about that fight was with those Bunchu rules, those MMA gloves, you can't block the same way. You can't prod the same way. Any shot that gets through is going to hurt, you know. And without the clinch, it really gets dangerous because you're going to be more inclined to throw the volume to make up for the fact that you can't defend normally. With the boxing gloves, you could really keep a high guard, ride the shots, eat the ones that get through, and then counter hard on your own.
Nahom in the blue gloves with the red tape. Brad Davis, blue gloves and blue tape. Good kick from Nahom.
He just snaps it so quickly. And again, it's after a punch that might not have had that much energy. You know, he kind of flung his jab out there and then snapped his right leg up and over that shoulder.
Nahom in total control of this fight. Davis just trying to stay alive.
See, working his uppercuts, his punches, fighting a little dirty would be a good move, but he's kind of just riding it out. As soon as he feels he can get close enough, he goes for the clinch.
Second low kick. This time Victor saw it. I think Brad sold it a little better this time than he did the first time.
Yeah, you got to make a point.
Yeah, that was a little. And whether or not it stung him or not, he's getting some breathing time right now because he was getting it put on him.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of it, obviously any low blow hurts much more than it looks like. And this is going to give him a good opportunity to really think about what's going on here too. If he can put past the pain and really think about what he needs to do, he's got to start putting his punches a little bit longer. And if that first punch misses at length, throw the hard hook because Nahom, from everything you've seen, is going to be coming in and closing the distance.
Now help me out here during this. When we get a penalty like this and you have a fighter who's taking some time, he's not supposed to be in his own corner. They're supposed to be in neutral corners because he's not supposed to be getting any help from his corners, correct?
Absolutely correct. Yeah, they should be on opposite sides, one in front of us, one across from us. But, there's
Davis is sitting there just steadily talking to his corner.
Well, he has 5 minutes, and one of the things about this is it's such a different rule set. All of a sudden now we went from an MMA fight, which is grappling and everything. Now you can't clinch, all these different things. So, it's kind of like you have to pick and choose, right? He's struggling here a little bit. It actually looks like he's really in some discomfort.
You can't go in there. I don't know what's going to happen here. He asked for something from his corner, but I don't know what he thinks can happen here.
Well, I think he was actually asking for, I thought it was a bucket, but.
Is he going to puke?
It looks like he might.
As a matter of fact, we about 4 years ago, we actually had a fight called for puking.
Really?
And when I tell you,
Jeff Melvin, right?
I can't remember who it was, but when I tell you puking, I'm telling you like projectile all over everywhere. It was the first time I'd ever called a fight for puking.
Well, maybe it's a good thing then they're not in our corners.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done. I think Davis is done. Victor's going to stop this.
Well, you see, if you look across, Nahom feels pretty good, pretty high energy, bouncing around. It's a lot of mental right now. That's what Nahom's coach is telling him. But, I'll tell you that when it hurts, it hurts. And as any guy knows, it can happen when you're playing soccer, hopefully not when you're playing chess, but especially when you're fighting. Any little contact really will cause some significant pain.
Yeah. Victor's trying to get some ruling on this, telling him he only had 3 minutes. So I'm a little confused. Maybe a little bit different rules with the glory rules.
Actually, as an amateur, you're right. You get what's equivalent to the round. So I misspoke. It is 3 minutes because, I guess it should be 2 minutes technically because that's what the round is. But I believe it's whatever the round might be. In this case, I actually think they're giving him 3 because it's an amateur fight in an MMA cage.
Davis can't go. It's over.
They waved it off.
Yeah, it's over. And that's a tough way for Nahom to win because I don't think that it would have mattered. He accidentally kicked him in his groin, but he just can't go. And I'd hate to see him get sick all over the cage, but he really got stung.
Well, I actually don't know if that's a win for Nahom. I believe it might be a no contest.
Yeah.
It depends how far they got through that second round.
Yeah. Tough one to call. Well, Nahom Demissie comes away with another win. That'll make him 3-0.
Referee Victor Matamala has called a stop to the action. 1 minute and 35 seconds into the second round. For your winner by TKO, out of the right corner, Nahom Demissie.
Demissie with another win, is what they're saying. So